It is a skill. It is a practice skill. It is a necessary skill.
Ooh, great blowjob.
Secret to a great blowjob is saliva, saliva, saliva.
It's important for us to learn from this because I think we lose because we beat ourselves.
You need to swallow it too.
I don't understand the problem here.
The people don't understand esophagus is the main player of the game.
Try to stay away from it as much as I can.
You can start by licking the tip.
I didn't understand it, but
Patrick Agyemang to Bambi or a newborn giraffe or what?
Welcome to the Straight Red Card. It feels like an endless soccer week for Brett and I.
Oof, yeah.
We had a show on Monday. We went to the game on Tuesday. We were on Will's show yesterday. And now, lo and behold, it's Thursday. And here we are again. So, yeah, pretty crazy. I guess we'll cover it all as much as we can. And I guess I'm going to be a grandfather soon. So I guess I've got to call it like 10:15. So I got to get off of here at some point. So just warning everybody. I mean, that's 2 hours from now. So I think we'll be fine. I don't really have, just like you, my feed on Twitter has been full of not soccer. So It's been a rough week on that too. Not that I'm complaining because at least I'm alive and breathing. I will say this. There's a lot of disturbing stuff on X. It's disturbing. I'm not just talking about the actual footage. Yeah, the footage of Mr. Kirk being eliminated. I don't know if we can say what words we can and cannot say.
Especially not this early.
Yeah, pretty sad. You never want to see something like that. And I mean, I'm not a conservative, and I disagreed with a lot of Charlie's takes. But I'm pretty sure I could have sat down at a bar and had a beer and a debate with him. Right?
Well, I don't know if he necessarily drink, but yeah, sure.
He might not drink. I heard
a nice warm glass of milk.
No, I think he has an occasional beer. That's what I heard.
I don't know.
But anyhow, yeah, really weird stuff on X. I mean, just sick. So hopefully that ends soon. Thoughts out to anybody's family and Charlie's family. Certainly. That's a horrible thing for his kids and his wife to go through. And I'm sure it's, but again, we got to get past a point in this country where we all have to agree on something or else you need to be shot. Like that's not political discourse, which is what we should be having, a back and forth and just disagree on stuff and move on. And that's not what we're getting. So I mean, it's an elephant in a room. So it's not like we can just avoid this conversation forever. It's all over X and it's been, all over the news. And so that's my take. Let's just get along here a little better.
But then lumped in right behind that was the Colorado school stuff.
Yeah, it's all been pretty heavy. So if you do disagree with somebody, and listen, we don't even know who the guy who shot him is yet. So, I mean, I've heard rumors, and then there's been people making suggestions that there's some evidence that it was this kind of person or that kind of person. We don't know yet. So let's just, I guess, wait and maybe never find out, or wait and maybe find out. I don't know. I mean, I don't know anymore. Do we find out ever? Because we don't know anything hardly about the kid that tried to kill Trump. We don't really know about either of those two. So maybe we just don't find out things anymore in this country. Like nobody tells us anything.
Well, we do. Well, the general public won't.
Right. Well, just like we never really probably got the full truth about JFK, and probably never will. Probably never will. So these things seem to just get buried, and hopefully people hope that we just forget about it and move on. But sad times here. All right. On a more positive note, Brett and I did go to that's not hard to do. Positive would be like, I'm walking my dog. Yeah. Okay. That's positive, more positive than what I've been seeing.
More like, I'm picking my dog's shit.
I'm picking up my dog shit in the yard. That's more positive than what I've been seeing on Twitter. We went to the game. It seemed like a really long, arduous drive there because of several traffic issues.
Somebody in Will's comment section gave us a red card for talking about traffic.
Yeah. And nobody, by the way, if we're asking you to mourn, like, you don't have to mourn anything. If you don't want to, that's your decision. I just think celebrating it is a whole nother different ball of wax. Anyhow, I guess it just depends how much of
dude, Fumar, you have no idea. No idea.
No, it was worse than that.
So I don't typically feel bad for anybody from Ohio, for just general reasons, not necessarily anything bad happening to them, but just being from Ohio.
Yeah.
But I feel bad for anybody who goes to the crew games that have to wait in that parking lot and wait for hours just to get out.
Yeah, no, it's brutal.
Miserable.
And then we had all the way home on I-70, they were painting lines on the highway.
All the lines.
So we were reduced to 2 lanes, 1 lane, 1 lane, 1 lane, 2 lanes, 3 lanes for 5 seconds. Back to 2 lanes. Truck. It was pretty maddening. The game was good for us. We had good seats. We were in the around the midfield. We had a really good view of the game. I would have preferred to be 1 level down, actually. I was kind of like wary of my balance. Like, am I just going to fall over this rail?
No, I actually dig the first row of the second balcony. Of the balcony, I guess you could say.
I'm not a fan of that. I'd rather be in the second row. I don't like the whole idea that I might have one too many Modelos and just fall over the ledge.
Fair. I mean, you may want to after paying $13 Modelo.
Yeah, $26 for a Modelo. I didn't pay for the first one, so there's that. Well, we paid for it.
Jack wants to know if we gave each other reach arounds during the trip. No, but we did see many rest stop along the way.
Yeah, I think the big problem with that, Jack, is that there was too much traffic and too many trucks, and I didn't want to distract Brett with a reach around. So, I just had to let him drive and concentrate on that. So it's fun. And then I got home and Brett dropped me off in the parking lot where we met before we took the trip in his car all the way there, which not all the way there, but anyhow, that's a whole nother story. And then some guy had backed into my car in this parking lot and totally smashed my left front end into my front left wheel, like smashed it. Like somebody
after I dropped you off, you realized that you got
I spent 10 minutes. Yeah, I spent 10 minutes pulling graphite out, or whatever the car's made of, out of the compartment where the wheel was, so the wheel wasn't touching the inside. I really needed a rubber hammer, but you were already gone because I got in my car, started, and tried to drive it, and it was like, I'm like, what?
Well, and and I can assume that you probably didn't reach out to insurance because they would have claimed that your car was totaled at that point.
Probably, yeah. It's an old car. 07.
Hey, that car's totaled. We're not going to repair it. So here's $600, Derek. Go buy yourself a new car.
I just replaced my windshield, so there's that, right? Anyhow, so yeah, that sucked. But I pulled it out. I taped it up. It sucks. But at some point it was fine and I could drive to work the next morning. Anyhow, SAFB for $5 Saturday in our country. Let us bond over soccer, even of the U.S. men's national team tries to make us depressed often. At least it's a win. It is a win. I think the interesting thing when Brett and I got there, the game started, the first thing I said was, whoa, wait a minute. Where's the Japanese American goalkeeper? Oh, wait, he's not starting. Oh, wait. Oh, that guy's not starting. And oh, shit, he's not starting either. So it became pretty clear they made an 11-man change.
Well,
for this friendly.
It wasn't clear that it was an 11-man change until I watched the highlights and I heard it. I knew that they were missing at least a handful of players.
I thought it was 5. Then I thought it was 6. And then I heard, no, it was the whole team.
Well, I only read 5 on Twitter. Because, from that angle, from that distance, I can barely tell Christian and Roldan away, or Pulisic and Roldan differently.
I just don't have that problem. But, hey.
It's like, Pulisic was bad. Oh, never mind. That was Roldan shit.
Anyhow, it was an experience because you're watching the game live from a really good viewpoint. You get a lot more context of how we're set up and how we're maneuvering and how we're playing. And, of course, we played the back 3. So that guy gave us a really good view of what that would look like going forward and what it might look even better if Jedi were out left and Des were starting out right. I think that could be a really positive, good thing.
I think what's interesting about watching it live, outside of we talked about this too, and I'm not going to get too much details because we're going to cover this later, but we talked about this on Will's show, how obviously watching it live might skew your ability to analyze
the
game properly. Because I was watching it going like there'd be a bad pass and I'd be like, oh, that's the right idea. It was right there. Just poor execution. And then you wouldn't say anything about that player for like another 20 minutes, and all of a sudden, oh, okay, there's one there. But the crowd around you, cheering, and Sammy's what was that? Was that new? Was the new supported groups? I don't even know if it's new.
Oh, Sammers, the Sammers.
Sammers, yeah, Sammers something, yeah. And then you had American Outlaws all cheering, and the atmosphere on TV was identical to what it was like live. It sounded like that because usually I sit there and think, I wonder how many microphones are in front of American Outlaws.
Yeah,
It did echo.
Yeah, listen, it was a positive crowd. It was definitely pro-American, and really the only empty seats in the stadium were on the other side in the very expensive seats. Otherwise, it was pretty full.
Speaking of which, I'm trying to zoom in this a little bit here. So this is the USA Ecuador game, and you're probably not. Okay, let me zoom back out because this is going to mess up on me. Come on. Okay. So this is the USA Ecuador game, and the ticket prices are almost identical.
Yeah,
you got 43 behind the goal. There's 50 some odd back behind this goal,
and 100 and
86 on the main drag. That's not bad.
Good.
There's some 130 in this dead center. They go top, 93s.
Oh, that's way better. That's way better.
No, so it's talking about the general price. Now, if you go in there, you could probably find the verified reseller price in there too. But these are the general prices, and if you catch it early, you guys can get decent tickets for all right prices. And then sections over here, which is where I think
the rich
we were seeing the empty spots. There were like chunks of stadium that were just missing.
Yeah, the rattle your jewelry seats were the only ones that were pretty hit and miss, like 50% full. Our side was full. The sides were full. The rich people side, pretty empty. Well, not pretty empty, about 50-50 empty. So maybe having all these ridiculous price tickets isn't helping you fill the stadiums or make money if half of the rich people seats are not full. Yeah. All right. So think about that.
Nate wants to know where they're playing Ecuador. Just understand it's one of the stadiums that we've had like 45 games in the last 3 years. We're in Austin again at Q2.
Yeah, you would hope, but again, Austin's getting spoiled with games, so maybe the fans there are just like, it's not that hot of a ticket because, yeah, I just went to the game. I just went to one. Why am I going to go again for another friendly? No, I go to maybe a handful, maybe 2 friendlies, 1 friendly a year. And now you're there 3 or 4 times a year, and I'm supposed to buy tickets every time you come. No, I'm not going to do it.
I'll say that. I'll say this much. Just looking at the stadium that you can see right here, the red seats are the verified resellers. The blue seats are what's available. So they've sold a decent amount already. I mean, I know the game's in a month, but
I mean, we are getting closer to the World Cup. All right, so there's that. Just to get back to the game, we had some okay hot dogs. Pretzels were
dirty Franks.
The pretzels were garbage. The popcorn was mostly husk. You ate it, and all you got was shit stuck in your teeth all night. Yeah, so the food was okay. The beer was okay. The parking was an absolute F. Nobody there directing traffic to get out. But other than that, I had a lot of fun going. I did. I'm glad I did it. And, I don't need to do it a whole lot more, but if they're ever in Cincinnati again, maybe we go to that. That's a shorter drive.
I mean, the 2 hour and 45-minute drive is no different than me going up to Michigan. I-70 is just a really boring stretch of drive.
God, it is. Yeah.
And when you get into Columbus itself, especially when it's game time, I would have preferred to have gotten there a couple hours earlier, so that way you wouldn't be dealing with all the traffic, and we could have, stopped at some local dive and grabbed some food.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is what it is. Obviously, people got to work, so
we did get to. Yeah, we did get to meet Eldon there. Hasek, who's a viewer of the show, so that was kind of cool.
A couple other fans were there too. They messaged on, or they commented on one of my posts, said, "Hey, what row are you in? We're this area." Yeah, but I wasn't going to be able to make the trip around.
Hell, we could barely find our seats, so there's that.
Well, it's so stupid how they have it set up, because every row there's a 1. And then across of it's a 10 or something like that. So I'm like, well, where the hell's 20, 21, and 22? But you got to look at the on the actual seat itself has the actual seat number, but each aisle, the seat has like a 1 or a 10 on it.
Yeah, it's weird.
Like, I don't know what the hell's happening here, because I couldn't find it. Like, oh, here it is.
Yeah, it was weird.
I think there's a guy about 10 rows up that we're like, oh, no, not here. And then I'm like, Derek, down here. And I kind of looked at him. He kind of chuckled, because we're like, "It's our seat."
Yeah, nobody threatened to beat us up or anything. I got a couple weird looks. Like, I think I might know that guy, and that was about it. So, but nobody threatening to beat us up, or, I mean, we're large mammals in general, and with Chad there with us too. The two of you guys are well over 6 foot. So, I just remember walking through the crowd with you, and you guys were, especially with the people who were there. I mean, they were small people.
Wait, are you saying the Japanese fans are small people?
No, Americans were too. The American fans were generally under 6 foot as well. So there you go.
It was strange. It was weird being like head over everybody.
You guys were way over everybody else. So I just followed you most of the time. You were clearing the way for me. You two guys. For the 5'10" and a half guy. All right.
Well, there's one instance where like we were trying to get to our seats, but we were going against the traffic of people coming into the stadium, like right at the entryway.
Yeah.
Like eight across, 1,000 deep or whatever, just walking in, and we're trying to walk through them to get to around the corner, around the bend. And there was a family, it was a mother and like 3 little kids, probably like 8 to 10 years old or so.
Yeah.
And Chad was just like, yeah, we're going this way too. Just follow us. And I got hung up, and all of a sudden, to my right were these 3 kids, these 8 to 10-year-olds, just beelining it through the traffic, and the traffic just sort of parted like Moses with the Red Sea, just like,
yeah.
I'm like, look, we're following them, I guess.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, no, I mean, it was a great experience. I think, boys, the pitch looks really good in Columbus, and getting to see the players closer up and in person, it is a different experience, of course. And you do get more context. I know on TV, it really seemed like Rolled On was complete garbage. But I think watching it live, I didn't think he was garbage. I think he did a lot of unnecessary running, but I also think, and he gave away the ball a lot, but he had some moments that were good.
Right into this topic, aren't we?
Yeah, no, I'm just generally, my perception of seeing it from above gave me, I think, a little more context about how that three in the back's going to play for us. And it's heavily dependent on whether or not the two guys in the midfield can hold their own, and whether or not they can make the transition from the attack to defense and do it in a high IQ manner. Because if you don't, we get countered. We really didn't have
I didn't get to really expound much on Will's show with Rolled On, because I did talk about it more on Twitter, that he seemed, at least live, he seemed more or less like a mixed bag of results.
Yeah, he
would make a really nice progressive ball forward, and then he would kill a couple of attacks.
Yep.
And then he would disrupt their attack by intercepting the ball and moving forward, and then all of a sudden he would have 3 giveaways.
Yep.
And he did seem to be the only one on the pitch really that was pressing high up. And
really
pressing. Like all the way to the goalkeeper. And like I said on Will's show, he looked around several times. He's like, where the fuck is everyone?
Yeah.
So I feel like Poch really wants to kind of push more of a heavier press, a higher press, a more aggressive press.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if the players are really buying into it or something. I don't know. That just seems strange that Rolled On was willing to run up there, and he multiple times hands up in the air. Like seriously, he was like frustrated at times.
If you're committing one of your slick 6/8s, remember there's only 2 of them covering the back 3, all the way up the pitch. You'd think everybody else would join in it, but sometimes it just didn't happen. Again, not saying just because the Japanese didn't field their best, they did bring in some of their best players in the second half, and we still were beating their ass, so that we could have scored more goals in the second half than we did. So, all in all, but I mean, the bottom line though, Brett, is we didn't really learn that much. We really didn't, except that Pulisic got back to some Pulisic things, that Pulisic and Balogun have a really good chemistry together.
Mm-hmm.
That Zendejas finally made his mark. I can't really make any sort of statement about Blackman at this point. Like, compared to what? Compared to
the South Korea game?
McKenzie or in comparison to South, I can't. Yeah, I don't. Where the game versus South Korea, he was just thrown to the wolves and part of a back 2. Of course, that was going to fail. And the whole setup for the Korean game in that 4-2-3-1, none of those players can play those positions. I mean, not none of them, but Arson can't play left back. You can't have, Luna and Sargent on an island all the way by themselves. Like, there was no connectors in that South Korea game. It was horrible. That first half was atrocious. And so they were set up for failure. All of them were. They all looked bad in the first half. Everybody did. So is that on the team or is that on Poch? Because when they finally switched to the back 3, the South Korean game, and yes, Korea did back off a bit, they didn't look that horrible. And then you had Balogun in there and blah, blah, blah. But meanwhile, Luna looked bad. Sargent looked bad. Pulisic didn't look that great in the first half.
He ghosted the entire game almost.
Yeah, but is that on the formation and the tactical acumen, or the setup and the game plan, and it was bad, or because suddenly with the back 3, everything seemed to click and work a lot better? And you can say, Korea was just going to hold on for a clean sheet at that point, but
then that's the issue right here. So we have a South Korean team that came out with firing on all cylinders, and we were put on our heels a lot because we had a 2-back with our actual backs that were trying to push up, but then we found ourselves outnumbered and our midfield was just getting overrun. We couldn't string anything together in the attack itself. Then we did go back to we did go to a back three, but like you said, it seemed like at that point South Korea kind of took their feet off the pedal and they're coasting at that point.
Yep.
Then we push over to Japan where we start back through, which is going to be great because now we can gauge how we're doing it. We're playing against a Japanese side that made 11 changes from the Mexico game.
Yeah.
How in the world are we supposed to gauge whether or not a back three was successful or if we were just a better B squad than that Japanese side was?
It's just like that's why you walk away from these two matches and you've really learned very little, except for the few things we pointed out, which is Zendejas looks like he can play for this team now. Mm-hmm. Pulisic and Balogun have a really good balance. Freeze is an acceptable option at goalkeeper for sure. Reams still got it. He might be slow, but he's still got it.
I'll say having sat back and watched the extended highlights, and then obviously watching it live, there were a couple of really good saves that Freeze made that watching it live, you didn't realize how good they were.
They were good.
Like, oh, he made a save. Okay, well, yeah, okay. But then you watch it live, and you're just like, oh, shit, that was actually a really good save.
The funny thing that went through my brain when the game started, this is so weird, Brett. The whistle blew, the ball was kicked. I was like, oh, we got to sync up. Yeah, just for a second. We got to sync up. This is crazy. No, we're sitting here together watching it live. The other things we did figure out in some ways is that, maybe there's some guys that probably won Poach over, but we're not going to know in October because he's telling us that MLS players aren't going to be invited if they're in the playoffs.
Let's read his actual comment here.
All right.
And Fabian was actually in Will's comment section for the show.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, Mauricio Pochettino on why he called up certain players in this window and fires back at some of the doubters. Sometimes people want the result tomorrow and ask you why don't call this player or another player. I was talking today, you notice in the October and November, we are going to struggle with the player, MLS player, because they're not going to compete go to the playoff. Or they are going to be in playoff in November. And then players in November that they're going to be on holidays. How we keep that is important also to analyze why. Also, we took this decision. We take that decision to bring now possibility to play more of the players that were in the MLS. And then in Europe, they started the season now. They need to set up. If this so difficult to understand, my question is, it's difficult to understand why our decision, and is sometimes not to deal with this type of situation that it's not going to help our organization, the national team, and the player. What the fuck was the mishmash? That shit at the end is mind-blowingly gibberish. But I get what he's trying to say.
Your broken Poach speaking broken English was phenomenal.
Thank you, sir.
Like I couldn't understand you just as much as I couldn't understand Poach. That's how good it was. I mean, I think even Pete would be impressed with how accurate your accent was there. It's like, oh my god, it sounds just like Poach.
Yeah, I've been listening to him too much. So he's basically.
This leads me to think that that I don't know if Fabian's taken the quote from watching the presser, or whoever asked the question had a recorder.
Yeah, it was a recording.
Closer to Poach, and literally just word for word.
It is
posted it because oh my god, somebody who had to sit there and listen to that and type it out at the same time, they would be like flabbergasted. Like, what the?
Yeah, where do I put the period?
What is happening?
Where do I need a comma somewhere?
I was talking today, right here. I was talking today. Cool. That's not a sentence I need to hear right now.
All right, we shouldn't bust on him because he's obviously English not his first language. However, here's generally what he's saying. Well, of course, I wanted to get as many looks at MLS players as possible because they're not going to be available in November. And by the way, I didn't call some of the European guys because they need to get set up with their clubs. In fact, which you should have added, I really didn't even want to call up Balogun. But that Brian White motherfucker wasn't available. He got injured. He pulled the left testicle. So I had to call somebody. I looked down my MLS list and there was crap, absolute garbage. So I had to call him up.
Yep.
So we'll see if he's really speaking the truth here. Yeah, I mean, there'll be almost no MLS players except for Matt Turner because the Revs ain't going to make the playoffs on the October team. If this is true, we shall see.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it would be too much to ask. Hey, you could answer the question in Spanish and just have a Spanish to English translator.
You know how that goes too, though.
Fair enough. I mean, he can come back and say, "I did not say that."
Yep.
Because it comes back and it's like, dude, that sounded really mean. Is he calling Pulisic out there?
Yeah.
Going back and everything. It's like, no,
right.
That's what I meant. That's what I said.
Right.
But then again, you have phrases like this where half of it is just gibberish. It's words thrown together that you have no idea what it is.
That aren't connected. Yeah. So it is what it is. It's what you have to deal with when you hire a manager whose English is still poor, even after coaching Tottenham for numerous years and Chelsea. It's just he just hasn't really grasped the whole. I mean, that's surprised because a guy like Jose Mourinho learned English really fast, but I understand not everybody learns a second language that fast. It just is how it is. So, Julian Vivas for $1.99. How likely is it that Poach brings an A squad to October? It sounds really likely, extremely likely.
How likely is it that Poach brings a squad to October? I hope he brings a squad. Right?
A squad. You mean the A squad?
An A squad? Yeah. I mean, or just. Yeah, I think it's predominantly going to be the A squad plus some fringe. That maybe there's going to be a team that's not vying for the playoffs. We kind of talked about this yesterday too.
Yeah, but which teams could he possibly pull MLS players from that aren't going to make the playoffs except for Matt Turner and the Revs? Like Vancouver's going to the playoffs. Seattle's going to play. I know.
Yeah, we talked about goalkeepers. Obviously Turner.
Yeah,
but then you also have,
Brady.
I don't know how many games, but Brady. We're Chicago's only 2 points.
But I don't even care about the goalkeepers. So. I mean the field players. Who cares about the fucking goalkeepers? They're all the same to me.
Yeah,
it's A1, AB, A2, A3, and A4 at this point. So no. So Seattle. Let's start. Roldan's from Seattle. They're making the playoffs. Columbus, they're making the playoffs, so no arson. Freeman's making the playoffs. Who else? Berhalter, he's making the playoffs with Vancouver. Like, none of these guys will be available. They'll all be in the playoffs in November.
Here we go. So, Jay asks Will and Edgar, how many of the top 10 players in MLS are American? What's your answer?
None.
Yeah, they basically said the exact same thing. I said, where am I at? Right here. I'm not even going to bother reading the responses because I'm pretty sure everyone has Guti and Cups on their top 10 list. Of that, I'm certain. Lee Bias.
Man, if people don't know you, they're going to think you're an idiot. But yeah.
I wrote Lee Bias.
Yeah, and you did a wink.
Yeah. Well, not even a wink, just a smiley face. But
yeah,
I mean, I think anybody can read that and say, well, he's certainly biased. Yes, exactly, right?
Right. So, in light of Coach's comments here, I don't really think we're going to have many MLS players in the October window, which will give all the guys that he's been spanking relentlessly in the press and calling them wankers and weak guys that want to go have lunch with their parents and dinner with their parents and play golf and jerk off in the bathroom when no one's looking and all that stuff. And guys
in the bathroom when no one's looking. That just makes no sense. Just wait for somebody.
Got to wait for somebody to show up, like Louis C.K.
Yeah, just jerk off into a potted plant like Louis C.K. Come on, with
other people around.
They were consenting, even though they came out like, it was gross.
Well,
I'm just saying. I mean, he's jerking it off into a plant. I'm just saying they had all the ample time in the world just to leave the area.
They could have left, but I think the two comedians in particular, chicks, felt like they needed for future references and for future gigs to stick around through completion, is how they put it. Yeah, I know.
That's an argument, I guess, but
that he was the big guy on the tour and they wanted to make him feel as if they were his friends and they needed his connections going forward. And if that's the case, that's the sacrifice you're making, I suppose.
There's nothing I would do a lot for my friends. But I don't think I need to sit there and watch him jerk off into a potted plant. Okay, yeah. For instance, if we were invited over to, let's say, the producer of NBC's soccer programming, or no, let's use Fox since they're hosting the World Cup. And they said to us, hey, listen, here's the thing. We really want you guys to be like a sideshow where you do your own segment for the World Cup, and we'll pay you $500,000 to do like 8 segments during the World Cup. But first you have to watch me jerk off. Sure. Yeah, I'll sit there. I'll sit there, cross my legs, and just, not done yet. Fuck no, I swear to God.
So you would do it.
Well, I'm not gonna bitch about it later. Go ahead, jerk off.
Go ahead.
Give me my $500,000. I'll take it. Whatever.
Do you want me to take my shirt off? Oh no. Okay, that's fine.
Does that help? Will that help you?
Could this go quicker if I played with my moves?
You asked the wrong question, Derek. $500,000. As long as I don't have to participate within it. I mean, whatever.
You look like you lost some weight, by the way. I haven't.
Good for you.
It.
Thank you.
Yeah, you did look very svelte. I looked very fat. All right. So anyhow,
it's all the camera angles when I was recording myself at Dirty Frank's.
Would I do it for $500,000? Some corporate exec was like, "We're going to give you this show and pay you $500,000. All you have to do is sit there and want me jerk off." Yeah, I probably would.
Probably.
It wouldn't worry me.
Probably. Oh man, yeah. I mean, as who is it? Somebody's mentioned it up here. Where is it at? There we go. Brett's gonna critique the stroke. Yeah, absolutely. Like, dude, you're not doing it fast enough. Let's get this over with. I got shit to go. I got shit to do, man. Come on, let's go.
And well, don't make that sound. All right. I would probably
maybe that gets him going. You don't know.
I'd ask him if he's into demeaning talk. So I'd say I'd make fun of his small penis or something. Whatever gets him to come quicker.
Fair. You gotta find his kink, right?
And I want it documented that happened, and that I want the signature already on the paper before we had to deal with that. All right. So there it is. And let's say the guy's 6'8" too, right? So
that's
could
the future of advertising. A dude jerking off, but it's censored. He's telling you about some product.
There you
Anthony
go.
said he'd do it for Bitcoin. Yeah, sure. Well, that'd be like what, 4 or 5 Bitcoin? Yeah, sure. Whatever.
Dude, I've seen much worse in my life. Honestly, I've been to parties.
Almost land around the corner I saw for free, right?
No, I have been to parties where gay men are having sex in the living room, and
Or is that worse?
And it's not worse. But I've seen sexual acts between men as I'm making my way to a bedroom with a gal, because it's a big Halloween party and all parties are invited. And yeah, I've seen things that that are worse than a guy jerking off. It doesn't bother me.
You looked over your girl and go, "Let's get going. I got a semi."
Yeah. I'm already getting hard, baby. Can we make it to your room quicker? So it wouldn't really set me off that bad. I just deal with it. Anyhow,
this conversation as a whole, man.
Well, I just think people are so sensitive about that stuff. Like, who 100%. Cares? Doesn't bother me. I've seen it all. I've been to some wild ass parties, baby. That's all I gotta say. In my musical career, especially. All right.
Okay, so jumping back to the topic at hand, since we've been talking about this, since the beginning of the show and all.
Get back to where you once belonged.
So when this lineup got announced, okay,
yeah,
I posted, I quote tweeted, and I said,
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I looked at that and went, man, Poach did the exact same thing he did. What window was that? Where the Swiss game? Because I alluded that this is basically just a Swiss game.
Yeah.
Whoever didn't play against Turkey.
Turkey.
I like saying Turkey key.
Okay, that's wrong, but okay.
That's fine. If it's wrong, I don't want to be right.
Yeah, that's what she said. All right.
So I said because obviously the lineup, like literally everybody who didn't really play is in there, and then
all right,
Tristan Blackman after his shamble of a game against.
Okay, that's fine. You were going down the list. You saw Tristan Blackman and went, oh, and then you went further and you saw Christian Roldan. You're like, oh, Tristan and Christian.
No Dest.
No Dest. Yep. But I told you while we were coming into the stadium that I thought Dest had minute restrictions.
That's fair. You did. Yeah.
Yep.
I have a video I haven't even published where we talked about pregame.
Yeah.
So let me get that up here soon at some point.
That's what she said.
Although
I'm going to get.
Although at this point, it'd be just comical to listen to our pregame and find out how wrong we were.
We weren't wrong, except for it could be bad. That's what we said.
Yeah.
It could, which it could have been, but we didn't know we were going to definitely play three in the back. We suspected we would, but we got it right.
Once we got this lineup, once we got the lineup, we were like, okay, it's
three in the back. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess leading into the game, I was happy to see that we went to three back because I think after the South Korea match, I was agreeing with a lot of people who were like, okay, we need to do a three back now. And I'm like, yeah, let's go for it. We have all of our backs are Dest, Freeman, Arfston, Jedi, all of them would benefit from having a three back. We don't have like any like legit straight out backs that can bomb up the field and get back. We don't have like a Trundle at that point, that type of player.
Oh, by the way, we should address this because David D is charming. Banks getting 0 minutes was an atrocity. It would be if Banks wasn't banged up and hurt. He got hurt during training.
I don't know to what extent the bang up is, but it's enough to where he didn't get any playing time, I guess.
That was what was told. We were told. So
I was like, I don't even recognize the center back coming in. Derek, this must be Banks. It's Banks because obviously he's an answer.
Oh yeah. You thought it was Banks.
He runs out there and he goes, "No, it's Harriel." I'm like, fuck. Like,
that was funny. Live at the game.
Ants down here, Jesus.
Brett's like, oh look, Banks coming on, and I went, no, dude, that's Harriel. Sorry. It happens, man.
Dude, that's Aaron Long. What the fuck are you smoking?
Anyhow,
I can't tell from up here. Come on.
I know it's weird that I can see better than you can.
Dude, have you seen my? Have I told you my contact prescription?
You weren't wearing contacts?
No, I absolutely was.
Oh, okay, but your contacts don't work better than my normal eyes. It's weird. I kept going, no, that's Roldan, not ballistic.
You're used to squinting at tiny people on a screen, so it makes sense that you can pick out the little nuances. I'm used to having my monitors right up in front of my face. Going, oh yeah, I can see everything. I can see the blade of grass on this TV broadcast.
Dude, as baggy as my eyes are right now, I don't need to squint. That's my regular way of seeing. Everything's a squint for me. I don't even have to squint. I mean, come on. My eyes are slits at this point. All right. Well, I got the old man eyes going. All right. So the moral of the story in the end was we didn't learn shit from this. We really didn't, except for the few things we mentioned. And, if you're talking 2 games, one thing we definitely learned is, well, Sargent's out. That's over. He's done. His goose is cooked. Good luck making 2026.
Well, and so the argument you made, not necessarily in his defense, but you made the argument that in that first half against South Korea, we were really set up to fail, and nobody in the attack looked good. Nobody in the field looked really good in that first half. And people are making the argument. They're like, well, he wasn't receiving any service, and there's truth to that. He didn't get any service.
Is it true?
But he did have a couple of opportunities that he could have made an answer. He could have tried. He could have done this. So like it was just too soft and too, like I said, he was a passenger. He was a passenger.
The steal by Berhalter where he delivers a pass to him on the top of the box, and instead of turning his fucking ass around because nobody was there in front of him and taking a shot, his first instinct is, oh, look, Pulisic's raging down the field. I'm going to tap him the ball. Hey, dumbass. If you were at Norwich, I know exactly what you would have done. You would have gotten the ball, turned around, and fucking shot. You didn't do it, dude. You passed it off.
He's too passive. He's too passive. Like I said, with the national team, he's just a passenger, and we don't need that with the striker. We have Flo, who's very assertive, and then we have Pepe, who's aching to get on the pitch all the time. So, unfortunately, as big of a sergeant stand that I am, I'm sitting here going like, no chance. No chance.
That was it. You didn't take off the pussy boots. At some point, you got to bring the big boy boots and be a man and say, hey, I don't care if Pulisic's the main guy on this team. When it comes to striker, I'm the main guy at center forward, and I'm turning and I'm shooting, and I'm not tapping it off to Pulisic, who's going to try to dribble through 3 fucking players on the right side. What a fucking waste of a pass that was. Anyhow, just turn around and gun that motherfucker. God damn it, Sergeant. That pissed me off. I nearly threw my beer across the room. I really did.
You're at your parents' house, so you were afraid.
So I couldn't. And I wouldn't do it here because I'd hit my TV or something important. But
Untouchable says Jack McGlynn likes to shoot. That's what I learned.
Well, we already knew that. He's got a hell of a left foot.
Ah, man, he got robbed. He got robbed by the post, and good save by the goalkeeper. He had 2 really good opportunities.
I don't know if he makes the team in 2026, but, because he wasn't like a starter, he came off the bench both games as far as I can remember. And so
I mean, from Poch's standpoint, though, because he came in and he ran, as not necessarily as quick as another center or another winger could be, but he ran around. He had 2 really good opportunities that he laced. If you're looking for a player to come off the bench and make a chance, I mean, he's stamping his name in Poch's book right now. I'm not saying he's going to go there. I'm saying Poch is thinking about him. That's all I'm saying.
If we at the end of this develop or try to put out a 24-man roster, I'm going to find it really hard to squeeze him in there after October.
I don't disagree. I'm just saying, in his time with Poch, I think Poch likes McGlynn, quite frankly.
Well,
and he had opportunities arise.
I think he likes Luna, too. I just think that after you look at, you compare where Zendejas is in his career with Luna right now, Luna looks like a 20-30 guy to me right now because Zendejas went out there and did special things and was really dynamic. And Luna, unfortunately for him, first of all, the first half he played at South Korea, everyone got fucked because of the setup. Everyone did, including Luna. He didn't look good. No one looked good. It's not his fault. And then when he came in off the bench, he didn't really get a whole lot of time in the last game versus Japan. So it's really hard to say he had much of effect on anything.
I think in his limited time against Japan, I think he did some decent things.
He did.
There are a couple of opportunities. He sold that leave to McGlynn, who ripped the post.
Yep.
I mean, he drew that center back with him because it looked like he was going to take it. And it was a professional leave. He had a couple of nice, slotted passes through the defense that opened up kind of opportunities. Like I think he had placed one to Downs, who had to bring it back, and he didn't quite shoot at that point. But there was still some good looks there with Luna.
But we're talking about ready for
overshadowed by the South Korea match.
We're talking about ready for prime time.
Oh, sure, yeah.
That's Zendejas finally made that case for himself with Poch. He did it not so much as much the last time. He was horrible, but this time in the 2 games he played, he said, "Look at me. I'm really good when you put me in the squad and you let me play a 10 role in a back 3."
He was for the limited time he had against South Korea, he was a breath of fresh air on that front.
Yeah.
And then against Japan, he absolutely stamped his name in his book. And he may have he definitely overshadowed McGlynn in that sense, and it's possible that maybe even McGlynn gets knocked off the totem because of Zendejas.
Yeah. I mean, and then you got guys like Weah who didn't look really that fantastic. But I mean, there are a bunch of guys in the background we still need to see again, and we will in October.
Mm-hmm.
And those are, we'll probably see Tillman, Cardoso, McKenney. If we're lucky, we get to see Aiden Morris. Musa, maybe. I'm guessing, yes.
There's going to be opportunities for some of those fringe players who are not MLS players at this point.
Aronson, yeah. I think Aronson
depends on how Aronson's doing with Leeds at that point, right?
If he's not playing, but
he's not playing, I can imagine him not getting included.
He might get included, but not play much, right?
Yeah.
So there are guys like Aronson on the fringe looking in right now, because if we're playing a back three and Poach decides this is our lineup, there's only room in that for a couple tens. And if you want to switch to playing out wide,
winger / 10 at that point, yeah.
Yes, you're looking at like, okay, you got Pulisic can play the double 10 in that 3-4-2-1, and those two in that 2-1 are the 10s. So
Pulisic, it's Weah, it's Zendejas, there's Luna, there's Tillman, potentially Reyna vying for that spot too. Aronson's potentially vying for that spot.
I don't think he is, though.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, he's vying for it.
He's vying for it.
His chances are down the pits right now.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, 100%. And then you have McGlynn who's vying for that spot. I mean, you have players who are there's a lot of people who really only talking about like one, maybe two spots for that role. Because again, you have Pulisic, Weah, Tillman. And if Weah comes out next in the October window and plays like he did against South Korea in that sense, he might be vying for a spot at that point.
Could be.
We'll see.
And the reason when I really start getting down to it and thinking about why McGlynn is playing a 10 spot when he comes in instead of the midfield is I really think Poach doesn't think he's fast enough to track back and play defense.
That's fair.
And so if that's the case, I would agree with him. That might be an issue.
I see him looking at him like a left-footed Weah.
Yes.
In this, it's not necessarily pace for pace. By any means, Weah is much, much faster. But the concept of you're playing up higher, you get the hold of the ball, you take the ball into the middle, and you rep a shot.
Yep. But I think right now, if you're talking about the double 10s, to me right now, it looks like Tillman and Pulisic are your starters. And I'm thinking after what Poach said last night or 2 nights ago in this post game that Zendejas has made a statement to be in the 2026 World Cup. That's what he said.
Well, I don't see why not. I mean, at this point, he's one of the better performers out there at this point. So
yeah, and as much praise as he's heaped on Luna, there are only so many 10 spots that are going to be open on that roster. So it could be that Zendejas just stole his spot. Yeah. And then if Reyna actually performs leading up to the World Cup, now he's really out of the picture. And so I'm not saying he won't be in the 2026 World Cup. I just didn't think he benefited from this window when others did. That's all I'm saying.
Here's Pulisic talking about Zendejas.
I always know what a great player he is. I think he's really showed the camp something different, so I'm really happy for him. He deserves it. By the way, these guys are old friends, okay? They're old friends.
Zendejas are extremely buddy-buddy.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, friends from youth.
Yeah, for a long time. He's a really technical player, really clean on the ball, and he gives a little something different. He has a direct style. He is really quick, and he can find final passes, so I think he does a lot of things well. By the way, Poach was wrong. I do care, and I think you saw it tonight. Oh, he didn't say that?
DVD says he's a Southern Belle. So yeah, Zendejas is to Pulisic like Scally is to Gio. That's what we're talking about here.
Well, yeah.
100%. No. I mean, the only reason why Zendejas ever got called in under Berhalter was because Pulisic's like, dude, we gotta give Zendejas a call.
Well, let's see if Pulisic can do some talking up of Haji Wright.
Same with Haji. Yeah, the one inclusion too. Yeah,
they're best friends too. So maybe Haji's supposedly reported negativity about Ajimon starting over him in the last window can be tempered by, although it doesn't sound like Pulisic and Poch are really good friends or anything like that. I think Pulisic made that really clear in his post-game comments as well. Hey, everything's fine. It's no big deal. You know, he didn't say, oh, yeah, we're great. We, you know, because he loved Berhalter. Oh, Berhalter. Yeah, Berhalter's the best. He's great. He lets us really, he's made the team grow. But he doesn't say that shit about Poch. So he's just like, yeah, everything's fine. You know, me, team, Poch, everybody's good. Doesn't say, oh, yeah, Poch and I had this great talk. We're totally on the same page. So, yeah.
David D says just that what he's learned is that Blackman doesn't belong. We already knew Arfson couldn't defend. I wanted to bring this up because I wanted to talk about Blackman for a second. It's like we talked about yesterday with Will that if Poch is going to be leaning into the 3 center back, we're looking at 5 or 6 center backs, guaranteed.
Yes,
right?
5 to 6. Yes.
Now, if you're thinking if you're Poch and he's going 5 or 6 deep, I mean, it's possible somebody like Blackman or Zimmerman or Miles will be sneaking in.
Yes.
And I say sneaking in. I understand why Poch's team ended up scouting Blackman while they were scouting the Vancouver and brought him in.
Yes,
he's
unavoidable.
He's a very mobile center back who doesn't have a problem pushing up into kind of like the final third.
Yeah.
He's not your slow center back that's, you know, positionally aware that gets in the way, like I say, like a Ream or a faster version of Ream and Richards in a sense. But Blackman has no problem pushing up higher on the pitch. But I don't rate him in my 5.
Yeah,
maybe.
I agree with you.
Maybe 6.
Can I name 2 players you could have brought in and tested instead at that position? James Sands. I know he hasn't played center back for a while, but maybe now he's ready. Or Maloney.
That's a tough call for Maloney though, because he hasn't played in like a year.
No, he played recently in the I think
how many minutes?
Second game, about 15.
Oh, that's not bad. Okay, I'll give him that.
So he didn't play the game after it, but he played the game before it.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you want to,
Maloney exists, yeah.
If you want to fuck around and try somebody, why not try a guy who used to play center back and Maloney and used to play center back in Sands, who are over in the Bundesliga? I don't know, just shits and giggles. Give it a shot.
Testman has played CB2 according to Spider.
Well, no,
there's been talk that Testman should look at possibly center back.
That's all tact. That's all tact.
Yeah.
That's all tact. Wanting Testman to play center back, but Tax might been changing his tune recently. Watching Testman at Lyon, because let's be honest, he's had a really good start to the season. So, yeah. RD Rap for $1.99. Thank you, brother. Pressure got the sergeant. That's the problem. That's what we've been talking about. Sergeant's been talking about it. Sergeant talked about it before he was called up 2 windows ago. He talked about all the pressure. Oh, I'm nervous.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really nervous because I know there's a lot of pressure on me to score. Don't say that. Don't say it out loud. God, why say that out loud to the Norwich press? Embarrassing. All right. And as for whether we remain concerned, yes, we do. And so does Alexi Lawless.
Well, apparently. Before we get to Alexi here, Ore Castillo says for $1.99, I'm here for the Josh Sargent's eulogy.
Well, we already did it. He's not coming back. That was it.
It's done, bro.
It's done. Thank you for the $1.99, though, Jorge. Yeah, we agree, Alexi. No, Alexi says, I remain concerned about Poch and the team. But I've decided to throw out this past window. It holds no value. Wow. Okay. Why is it that now we all agree on things? Why? I don't know, but I do think. Well, I'm not going to say that.
It's like we all agree. Now, the only standalone right now is Eric, apparently. Eric's one that's saying, like, you guys jumped on this concern bandwagon too soon.
But Eric interestingly said it in the same way that Lawless says it. Don't get concerned because this doesn't mean anything.
Fair enough.
So in the end, we've all come to the same place. We just did it in different ways. Pochettino made it clear that this window was simply a training session and experimental. So I'll accept Pochettino's explanation and kick my judgment can to the next window. After you called for him to be replaced, by the way. I watched the show, Alexi. You said, yes, I would replace him if I were the boss right now, I would replace him. And of course I would too. But it's really too late for that. And it's not our decision. It's not Alexi's decision. And it's a pipe dream. And if I had to do that in emergency, I think I'd go with BJ because he just knows the player pool and he knows the players and the players love him. And I think they would die on a hill for him, honestly.
Yeah. Final thoughts as far as this window is concerned, Derek. You have any more before we move on?
On the game?
On the game or this window in general?
Nope.
All right. So we got a clip here from Lawless, actually. Before we play the clip, I want to just show what Winalda says. Well, Winalda says, I'll continue to be this man's friend, but he could not be more wrong. It's really unfortunate that these are his thoughts, if they are truly his own.
What the hell? Who are we talking about? Oh, God.
The short answer is I oppose it. I oppose
that's years
any,
ago.
and I'm going to cap.
That's years ago. That's ages ago. That quote from Alexi, where he opposes promotion and relegation or something like that.
I mean, this was from 2019. You're right. Why is Eric bringing it up now?
Because maybe he thinks he still believes the same thing.
He does. No, 100%. Because I wrote this on Eric's thing. I'm like, he's been consistent over the years on this topic.
Yeah.
He's been consistent. He doesn't believe that we should be forcing promotion relegation onto MLS. It's its own business. Let them do their thing. And if somebody wants to come up and create a better mousetrap, is his big thing he always says, then they can come up and create their better mousetrap.
Well, USL's going to try to create the better mousetrap. We'll see how that works out.
I didn't catch the timeline. That was a really good pick by you, by the way.
Yeah, thanks. No, I mean, he looked younger. He looked 6 years younger for sure.
He cut his hair and trimmed his beard a little bit.
Yeah, but I remember when he came out with that comment and people freaking out about it. But
it's like every 3 weeks he posts something about that on Twitter though. So I mean, it's not like oh, that was 2019 comment. That's a reoccurring comment. He hasn't changed at all on that front.
But for somebody who loves capitalism, this franchise system, which is pretty socialist in its equality and equity, it does seem like he would be opposed to that, Lawless. But I don't know. You can't force a league to do it. You could if U.S. Soccer forced them to do it, right? Because it's a FIFA rule for the most part. They make exceptions league by league, but you would think that promotion relegation would. But we've been talking about this for 20 years, right? Between you and me, like 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of for us. It's like, all right, yeah, we've been talking about this so long. It's such a dead topic at this point that people hammer it home. But like, okay, good. Let's see USL go out and try it and see how it works for them. If everybody starts watching USL and they get a major CBS or ABC or somebody, ESPN, signs them up for a big deal because they're doing promotion relegation, awesome. Let's see how it works in our sports world system and whether or not it lights a fire under fans. And if it does, then MLS is going to probably start shaking in their boots. But right now, let's be really clear about who is stopping promotion relegation and the increase of any sort of cap, right? And that's the old owners. The original owners, plus the ones that got teams not long after that, they all oppose raising the cap significantly. They all are for this strong, like heavy cap we got now. And they're all, the owners at MLS, all for not having promotion or relegation. They put in too much money, according to them, to have promotion or relegation, to even risk the idea of being relegated. Hey, we invested in this league early on. Fuck you. We took a big risk, and now you're telling us that when we were guaranteed there'd be no pro rel when we signed up, now you're telling us there's pro rel? Well, you got to get through us first, because we got the votes, and we're on the board at MLS, and we got Don Garber by the dick, and he's got to do what we say. And by the way, yeah, tricky dick Don Garber tried to do this Tam and Gam scam over us to get past our stupid cap. And he may have tried that, but if you think we're going to let him raise the cap, but by the way, Don Garber has said he wants to raise the cap. Don Garber's got a lot of issues, a lot of problems. He really doesn't read the room well a lot of the times. But in an interview going back 6-7 years at this time, I'm guessing, he was sitting with the Seattle owners and doing an interview, and they said they want the cap to go up significantly, and Garber agreed with them. But he also said, it's not our decision alone. The whole league has to agree. Well, specifically, the stingy, stodgy owners don't want the cap, and they don't want pro rel. So good luck getting that by those old dudes. So yes, Tam and Gam was an invention by Garber to get around these old stodgy dudes so we could spend some money. All right.
Yep. All right. Last thing I got pulled up here. Starting in 2026, apparently there's going to be one continuous international break between September and October. So instead of having 2 international breaks that are about a week and a half long, there's going to be 1 2-week break.
I think that's
fine. With 4 games. 4 games.
I like that.
So
I like
it'll be an interesting addition there.
It's like a month, right?
Yeah.
It's a month with the team. It's
half a month. It's 2 weeks.
Well, 4 games in 2
4
weeks?
games in 2 weeks. Yeah. Instead of 4 games in 3 weeks, it's 4 games in 2 weeks.
Huh.
So.
All right. Well, okay. It's 2 weeks at least instead of just 1 week.
Less travel, basically.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all that I got, man.
Yeah. Guys, I wish we had more, but you know what? There's no sense in making up shit when there isn't. And I think we're going to learn a lot more in October. So let's wait till October. We're probably going to have a recorded show on with Herc somewhere in this time because his show's on at the same time as ours.
Yeah.
Which I've already discussed with him, I think. And so we realize it's going to have to be a taped show. Some of you might be bored with Herc already because he's all over, right? ESPN FC, and he puts out his own individual videos. But hey, wait, let us get a hold of him. Let us get a hold of him and see if we can make Herc even more interesting than normal. And then let's see how October goes. Do we have soccer this weekend? They're all back playing again, right?
They're all back playing, yeah.
Okay, thank God. So we got some football this weekend to watch. We got the Premier League, the Championship, La Liga, Italy. Thank God. I can't wait for that. I love waking up in the morning and watching soccer all day. I just love it. And then, at 4 o'clock after watching soccer all morning, I drive off to make dinner for my parents, which is what I love doing every fucking Saturday. And then getting up on Sunday and playing golf with my mom. Anyhow, we will be back. Oh, Brett, you leaving? Brett? I'm about to end the show, brother. I can't hear you. I got
a kid walking down the stairs right now, man.
All right.
I'm going to wrap it up or you got to keep talking. One of the two, man.
I didn't know what the fuck you were doing. All right. We will be back on, I guess I'm supposed to read your mind. All right. We'll be back on Monday, probably would be my guess. And we'll discuss all shit then. Have a good night.
That hurt.
Blowjobs are a no.